Sharon and Bonnie and folks from Allenbrook on Twitter and Google Plus and various other ways that they use technology to communicate with others and connect. And I was just mentioning to Sharon earlier that I was showing her Twitter feed to a group of preschool teachers just last night.
That's very awesome. And I think the other thing, Willow, you said you were tweeting to us too, so that's pretty neat. And Willow, were you on? You hadn't been on Twitter before, had you?
Oh gosh, no. It still feels a little weird sometimes, but it's wonderful. You always respond right away, and the kids are so excited about it. It's definitely worth doing.
Yeah, it really is. And again, as I showed you on our Twitter account, you can see kind of those lines and how they connect and have conversations. And we do check that all the time. However, one of the things, just so you know, our lines will not always connect with parents when we're tweeting to them because we don't follow other parents. Just so you know that. We just follow other kindergarten classrooms. But you still get a notification, and the kids know, because we've done this all year long, that we always check that every day to see, you know, if there are any parents that are talking to us. And usually there's at least one parent a day who will have tweeted us something. And it's really nice for their children, because then they have an opportunity to say, oh, my mom, what is she doing? What does she want to know? Okay. Oh, no, I want to tweet to so-and-so. And then, again, I think as Adam was saying, you develop those relationships with each other, and you also develop those relationships with others in the classroom. And it's nice. It's really nice. So do you guys have anything else that you want to add as a parent? Anything from your perspective about teachers who may be thinking about doing this but are like, oh, I don't know? Anything that you want to offer to them, like words of encouragement, like, yes, you want to do this?
I definitely think it's been really positive for us as a family, for my husband as well, for all of us. The two boys that are in Sharon's class have an older brother who also had Sharon several years ago, and just the amount that they now are learning that my older son didn't get to through Sharon has been wonderful. I think it's really important because it's teaching them how to be responsible with technology, and by them learning it in school and in the classroom with Sharon, who knows how to speak to them in the right way, I feel like they're learning in a really safe and a responsible way about technology and bringing that home and talking to us about that.
Awesome. Hey, Ellie.
Hi, Sharon.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, so listen, would you be willing to share your perspective about how we've used Skype and Twitter with you this year?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, we do both. I follow Sharon in the kindergarten class on Twitter, and it's nice to see throughout the day little pieces of what they're doing, and I'll respond and ask questions to the kids, and I'll get a response back. So it's a great way to stay connected to what they're doing in school. And Skype was great. We were able to use Skype this fall when my husband and I were away in France, and it was really neat to speak with the class. And I think they learned a little bit about where we were, so it was educational for them, and we were able to stay connected again with with my son in the class, and it was pretty neat.
So thank you so much. So I didn't know if there's anyone in the audience, if you have any questions that you might want to ask one of the parents while they're on. Anybody? I love it. No one's going to say anything. Ellie, Adam, or Willow, is there any? Oh, wait, there's one gentleman?
Well, I know, tell Adam thank you. He helped us solve some tech problems at a UVM course this summer.
Okay, so Adam, there's a gentleman here who says thank you. You helped them solve.
It's great. I mean, it's changing. There's new things all the time, and Sharon, you're always introducing me to things that really are helpful to be a part of the kids' learning. So it's great.
Just a couple of things. It's always good to keep parents informed about the various tools that you're using, and I think Sharon also does a great job of that. We were invited into her classroom very early, before the school year even began, and had a chance to meet with other families and learn about what Sharon was using and how we'd be communicating throughout the year. I'd also put a plug in for Twitter, because it's 140 characters, and if you're a teacher, you can send out something really quick, knowing that your time is very valuable and there's very little of it to go around, but something really quick in 140 characters can mean a lot to families because it offers that little bit of information about the day that they may not have and can really generate a conversation with their child.
Great. All right. Thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Sharon.
you.
Bye-bye.
Sharon?
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So I don't know if any of you have questions or anything that you'd like to ask me or ask one of the students, or you can just give me different. Yes.
I was wondering, are there children whose parents aren't involved, and is there like a sadness about that, or?
You know, so this is what I have to say about that. I think, first of all, hey, Renee, they can't see if you do that, but you can sit there or you can sit in this chair, sweetheart. Okay, you decide. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I think about that question or that comment in a lot of different ways. First of all, the tools help us become transparent in our thinking and our practice. And I think it is really, really important as an educator that we need to do that. I am not going to make assumptions about my families that even though they may not comment on the blogs, they may not interact with Twitter, I am not going to make that assumption that they're not engaged. They may or may not be, but again, in my mind, what I'm thinking is the whole beauty of having these synchronous and asynchronous tools is people can interact as much as they want. And if their interaction is just reading it or looking at the blog every day or looking at it with their child or when they come into school, looking at it with my homeschool coordinator and them, that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's kind of what I feel about that. I feel also that there is some inequity. Not some, there's a great deal of inequity. And as an educator, I'm really hoping to see some changes in our state in terms of resource allocation for schools to have more equal access for tools, as well as to have broadband or internet that is consistent, that works. Because our world, we don't even know what these jobs are going to be like for our students in the future. We have no idea what they're going to be like. So especially for those families that are living in poverty or may have other issues or are struggling in any way, especially for those kids, I need to make sure that I'm doing this. Because I have an opportunity as an educator to help do it right from the start and to help involve them and engage them and show them how to interact in a safe, kind, responsible way with these tools right away. If I don't do that, oh, I don't know who that was. If I don't do that with them, then I'm missing out on an opportunity. You know, I feel like they need people like us who are using these tools to show them how to use them. Because a lot of times parents will come to me, even in the beginning in 2008, when I first learned about a blog, was 2008. So I've been using technology since then. Not a real long time, but it changes every year. So I've had parents come to me and say, you know, things like, Mrs. D, do I buy my son an iPad or a new bicycle? And I'm like, oh my gosh, in my head I'm thinking, oh my gosh, are you kidding? And I'm listening to this conversation, you know, and I'm like, of course you buy that bicycle. You have an iPad in your house. Yeah. So teach your child how to use that iPad, how to use the camera and the recorder, and take a video of them learning how to ride their bike, and then show them how that genius tool can be used in a way to help share what it is that they're learning or they're doing. So, you know, it's just like when I use iPads or I use these tools, it's not about the apps, you know, and I'm not here to say that, you know, the way that I use them is the only way to use them. I think the beauty of iPads and technology is that you adapt it to what works for you and what's meaningful to you. I do not tend to use apps that are replacement for worksheets. I don't do that because we know for young children that's a lot of extra screen time. So if I want my students interacting with tools, digital tools, I want to make sure that it's in regards to something that they're learning or they're discovering authentically.